and welcome to Polandball News. My name is Koleye. Aaron and I are here in the PNN studio to bring you the latest news later than you thought you'd get it, because drawing these takes a lot of time. Our top story. On the 22nd of March, terrorists from the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, or ISIS, attacked the Crocus City Hall music venue in Moscow, Russia. Russia arrested 4 Tajik citizens it suspects of carrying out the attacks. The perpetrators killed 144 people and injured an additional 500 more. The United States informed the Russian government of an imminent terrorist attack potentially targeting large public gatherings like concert halls, and also issued a public warning several weeks prior to the attack. 3 days before the attack, the colossal idiot that runs Russia, Vladimir Putin, told the FSB, the Federal Security Service of the Russian Federation, that Western warnings of an attack were, quote, provocative and resemble outright blackmail and the intention to intimidate and destabilize our society, end quote. Never one to let reality get in the way of his ironclad commitment to evil, Putin has instead blamed Ukraine and its Western partners for the tragedy, despite ISIS nearly immediately claiming responsibility for the attacks and releasing body cam footage from the terrorists. As is typical of the modern age, online discourse surrounding the attack has descended into increasingly conspiratorial and outlandish claims because, of course it has. Here at PNN, we extend our condolences to the victims of this tragedy and their families. Alright, that was some pretty heavy and morbid news. Let's move on to some lighter news. The war between Israel and Hamas. On the 25th of March, the United Nations Security Council adopted a resolution demanding a ceasefire in Gaza during Ramadan. 14 members of the Security Council voted in favor of the resolution, and the United States abstained. The resolution also calls for Hamas to immediately release its Israeli hostages. The resolution comes after more than 5 months of war between Israel and Hamas and delicate, complicated negotiations among world and regional powers. To answer whether this groundbreaking and momentous resolution will hasten the end of the conflict, we turn to our Middle Eastern Bureau Chief, Jordan. Jordan, thank you for joining us. Will this new UN resolution stop the fighting in Gaza? No. Thanks for that, Jordan. We'll have more on the war in Gaza next time. Lawmakers in the US are considering whether to ban the popular video app TikTok due to concerns that its parent company, ByteDance, is sharing data from American users with the Chinese government. At a recent hearing on Capitol Hill, congressmen and senators grilled TikTok Chief Executive Officer Shu Chu over security concerns with the app. In an embarrassing and insensitive viral exchange, Tom Cotton, Republican senator of the People's Republic of Our Kansas, questioned Chu about his citizenship. He's a citizen of Singapore. Whether he was a member of the Chinese Communist Party, he's not, before Chu jumped over the dais and attacked Senator Cotton. Wait, no, that was a video of a criminal attacking a judge at his sentencing hearing. After months of speculation as to her whereabouts, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and wife of William, Prince of Wales, heir apparent to the British throne, announced that she has been diagnosed with cancer. Prior to her sobering announcement, social media ran wild with rumors as to the reason for her disappearance from the public eye, including baseless assertions of a botched Brazilian butt lift and infidelity. Following her announcement, doctors discovered a more severe form of cancer in the comment sections of popular internet gossip cesspools like Reddit's r/faux-moi and regular internet cesspools like Twitter. We wish Catherine well in her fight against cancer, and we wish cancer well in its fight against online celebrity gossip communities.
Polska here again for weather for Batman, Turkey.
Mostly cloudy all week. It'll be warm, with highs near 300 Kelvin, lows near 280. Maybe go to the beach. Does Batman have any beaches? No? Go anyway. Swear to me!
London Bridge is falling down? No, not this time, but Baltimore Bridge just fell down. It's just too bad that doesn't have as good of a ring to it though. On Monday night at nearly 1:30 in the morning local time, the Francis Key Scott Bridge that spanned the Patapsco River in Baltimore, Maryland was struck by the container ship called the Dali. The Singaporean flagged ship struck one of the support beams as it left the Baltimore port on its way to Sri Lanka, causing the main section to collapse. Unfortunately, the Baltimore police have said that up to 20 people have fallen into the river, with many still missing. On the bright side, at least when people think of Baltimore, they will think of something other than the murder capital of the entire Western world. Well, I guess that all depends on if the captain of the Dali gets charged with manslaughter or not, in which case, sorry Baltimore, but still, that remains to be seen. We will keep you up to date with this as more news rolls in. Well, that was really heavy, wasn't it? And I don't just mean the bridge. I think now would be the appropriate time to move on to some lighter and more hopeful news. Wouldn't you agree? I want to talk about something that gives everybody some hope for the future: the improvement of rights for women the world over. Just recently, the United Nations has selected a new head to chair their forum on women's rights and gender equality. That is such excellent news. This fresh new mind will be replacing the Philippines and taking their spot to hopefully bring some great new ideas to the table to further women's rights in the world. Everybody give it up for Saudi Arabia. Wait, hold on, that can't be right. Saudi Arabia? Women must get a man's permission to marry? That Saudi Arabia? Women must adhere to a strict dress code? That Saudi Arabia? But how? United Nations, are you alright in there? Either they've gone crazy or their pockets are slick and greasy with that sweet, sweet oil money. Well, I guess King Salman did just grant women the ability to finally drive a few years ago. Baby steps are good, aren't they? Who knows? Maybe this new position will cause the leadership in Saudi Arabia to finally look inwards towards themselves. Similar to how the most recent climate change conference was held in the oil-barren state, the United Arab Emirates. Since then, they have not only gone green, but they have also turned to solar energy, ditching their polluting, disgusting, fossil-fueled ways of the past. Nah, I'm just kidding. You know that would never happen. With the way things are going, I would not be surprised to see Russia put in charge of the United Nations Forum for Peace. Then what? Who knows? Maybe after that, the United States of America can take the United Nations lead on global gun control. Or maybe I'm just being a Debbie Downer. After all, the director of the United Nations Human Rights Watch gave this glowing review of the entire situation, and he said, I quote, "Saudi Arabia's election as chair of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women shows shocking disregard for women's rights everywhere." Oh shit, I read the wrong review. Honestly, you know what? I think it's just time we move on. Unfortunately, there was some more grim news this week coming out of Ukraine after the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned that they may have to begin retreating if they do not get more weapons in time. With the next big batch of funding frozen on the floor of the United States Congress, things have been looking dire for Ukraine as Russia has been making advances all over the front line. However, all hope is not lost thanks to the help of European friends stepping forward to supply some much-needed ammunition. Shout out to Czechia. Still, despite their help, Zelensky still says he needs one more important thing from the Americans to halt this potential retreat. You guessed it, more long-range missiles. Unfortunately, all the Ukrainians can do now is hope for the United States of America to wake up from its Republican-induced slumber. Sadly, nobody knows just how long that could take, and if the country turns red in the upcoming November election, it may never even come to pass. Damn, this was a really eventful episode. My heart goes out to all of the career TikTokers. I wish you very good luck with the job hunt. Oh, yeah, and my heart goes out to the casualties in Baltimore too, of course. Well, that's all there is for this episode. Now, as this was our 9th episode of PNN, I would just like to take a few seconds to extend a big thank you to everybody who's tuned in for this. It's been a lot of fun, and we hope maybe for our 10th episode, we can do something special. But of course, that all depends on the news, right? Anyways, this is PNN, your Polandball News Network. Tuning out, and have a nice day.